Welcome, guys. Welcome to Team FreeStyle Build Strong Training. It is Monday, the 16th of April, 2018. And I am honestly so pumped for tonight. It's going to be so amazing. There's something I want to tell you about our guest tonight that most of you guys will not know. Maybe some of you guys don't know that our guest tonight is going to be one of the features of Juice Plus National Conference this year. Maybe you already knew that. But what I love, and certainly gives me goosebumps even when I think about it, is that our guest tonight certainly has played a big part unconsciously in what Team FreeStyle is. I don't think he understands that. I got an opportunity to speak to him today, and I don't think that he understands that him being on this training tonight, that he played his part in this many, many years before Team FreeStyle even begun. Keith Abraham was one of my mentors and very good friends over the last 10 years. Keith and his beautiful wife, Christine, and his beautiful girls, I'm still crying even thinking about that, is that Keith and Christine and his beautiful kids, I had the pleasure to call them family. Before I found my family, Keith and Christine, Keith was a brother to me. He was like a big brother, a mentor, and someone who always guided me and inspired me. Keith is, no doubt, guys, he is a big deal. He is one of the #1 personal development speakers or coaches in corporate business in Australia. There's no doubt about that. And he has a global business. So he's got a great business. And what I love about Keith, not only has he impacted me, and certainly when we talk about finding your passion, finding your why, and you guys hear me talk about this a lot. Without purpose, without passion, then I think it's such an important part of what we do. And Keith certainly taught me a lot about that. He's written numerous books about pursuing your passion and finding your why and doing that stuff. But the other thing you guys don't know is that not only did Keith Abraham have a big part in the success of what we have, there's one of Keith's books there, but also he had an impact in Brian Marsh's journey in the beginning. Many of you guys have heard about Brian Marsh. Spoke to his neighbor, the guy that lived across the road from him, about when he asked someone about doing network marketing, that he said the people that he has seen create success in this industry are the ones that have treated this like the business. That person that used to live across the road from Brian was Keith Abraham. I had no influence, maybe a little bit, but not much, in Keith being a speaker at the Juice Plus conference. So when I heard that he was speaking at the Juice Plus conference, I was very excited. I love that we've got a little bit of a taste of him tonight before coming to conference. And it's a reminder tonight, guys, if I forget to say this, if you haven't bought your Juice Plus conference ticket for Perth, then here's another reason why, is that Keith is going to deliver. This is just a taste of what you guys are going to get at conference, and I can assure you it's going to be amazing.
And just like Keith said, if you want to have success in this business, you've got to treat it like a business, and part of that is going to conference.
Yeah, there's no doubt, guys. If you want to be successful in anything in life, then you've got to play full out. So Keith, I think I've said enough already. It's so good to have you on here, buddy. It was good to chat to you this morning, but mate, welcome to Team FreeStyle.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks, Kira. Everybody in Adam and Kira's team, you got awesome leaders, people who believe in you, and they got a full heart full of fully committed. They're amazing people and amazing leaders, and have been on such a wonderful journey to bring all of you together and help you realize and achieve your goals. I think there is no greater gift that you can give somebody else is to help them make a difference in their lives. And Adam and Kira are certainly doing that with everybody on this call. So thanks, Adam and Kira, for having me. It's an absolute delight. And, you're getting me all misty and teary. That's normally happens at the end of the presentation. So, gee whiz. Look, thanks. Let's get into it. I prepared some slides, but I don't really need to. I'm just going to use them as my notes as I go through. And look, if you've got a question, I'd love you to, send it through to Adam, and he'll moderate those questions, and I'll allow a little bit of time at the end to answer as many as I can. And Adam and Kira mentioned about being at conference. Here's what I know after 22 years, oh wow, now I'm dating myself. After 22 years of standing up and presenting to conferences in 29 different countries to more than 1.5 million people, here's what I can tell you absolutely positively is that your life will change. Because it's at conferences people make decisions to move up and move forward, and to change gears, shift lanes, and to take the next step to achieve exactly what you want. It's the environment that Juice Plus creates that'll help capitalize, monetize, and more importantly, create momentum in both your life and your business. And you'll make those decisions when you come to Perth. You're going to listen to some sensational speakers, and you're even going to get a chance to listen to somebody like me as well, share with you some ways on how to do what's important, what matters, and what makes a difference to you. So thanks, Adam. Thanks, Kira, for having me here. Let's jump into it. I've been fortunate over the last 22 years to have worked with some amazing companies. One of my clients over the last 5 years has been Harley Davidson. And, I got to tell you, they're a funky group to work with because it's the only conference I go to where everyone is dressed in black. And when I first started doing some research about Harley Davidson, because I'm not a biker, I think I rode a Pee-wee bike as a 13-year-old as a kid. So I got really no expertise around motorbikes. So I did some research, and I saw a wonderful video of a journalist and the head of Harley Davidson, a guy called Richard Tierling. And he asked him the question, what's it like being in the motorbike manufacturing business? And Richard Tierling looked the journalist in the eye and he said, we're not in that business. And the journalist said, yes, you are. You make Harley Davidsons. And he said, no, we're a lifestyle company. And he said, no, but you make Harley Davidsons. He said, no, that's not the business we're in. He said, okay, so what business are you really in? He said, what we sell is the ability for a 43-year-old accountant to dress in black leather, ride through small towns, and have people be afraid of him. That's the business we're in. Here's the question I've got for you right off the top of the bat. Now, the hardest thing I have to do in this call is to watch and to take notes, because I'm going to give you some absolute gems that you need to go away. And I don't say that arrogantly. I just know the information that I'm going to share with you tonight has been time tested. And here's the first question I want to throw to you is what business are you really in? Oh, we're in, the Juice Plus business. No. That's what you do. That's not the business you're in. If I, your business better than I'm ever going to know it. And if I was going to say, what business do I think you're really in? I reckon it's turning people in your business. It's turning them into passionate ambassadors. I reckon the real business you're in is becoming the living example for everybody around you. I reckon the business that you're in is to having clearly defined goals and to have specific strategies on how to achieve that. The wonderful part about your business is that you actually don't need to know how. Adam and Kira are such great leaders. They know what works. You just got to be teachable. You got to humble yourself enough to sit at the feet of the masters, Adam and Kira, and say, show me, teach me, help me. And they will take you on a journey that they've been on because they've walked the pathway you've walked, that you want to walk. And I tell you the other business that you're in the business of changing people's lives and making a difference to people's lives. So here's what I do know. Adam and I were chatting today about, this whole thing around why. And you've probably seen videos and things like that about, making sure that before you get started, your why. And here's what I want to say to you is that you have to go and do the what and the how. And in the process of doing the what and the how, you find the why, or more importantly, the why finds you. I often say this quote, when the why becomes clear, the how becomes easy. And for a lot of people, they're waiting for everything to be perfect before they get started. And my message to you tonight is do not wait for it to be perfect before you get started. Do what your leaders tell you to do and do the things. And you know what? It's going to be uncomfortable and inconvenient. And the process of being uncomfortable and inconvenient, that's where the gold is. because when you do the things that people don't want to do, that's where the wealth and the riches are. So, to help you a little bit about how do you find your purpose, here's what the first thing I want to say to you is don't wait to find the reason, the why, the big picture before you get started. What I often say to people is it's about finding your purpose is about saying, if I don't know what my lifetime purpose is, by the way, that is a big question. What's your purpose for this week? What's your purpose for the month? What's the purpose for the year? I love the story. There was three bricklayers. The guy walks up to the first bricklayer and he says, "What are you doing, mate?" And the bricklayer looks at him peculiar. He says, "What do you think I'm doing? I'm bloody laying bricks. Get out of my face. Let me get on with my job." The guy walks up to the second bricklayer and he says, "What are you doing, mate?" He says, "What do you think I'm doing? I'm building a wall. Just, let me do what I need to do." Walks up to the third guy and he says, "What are you doing?" The bricklayer stands up and he takes a step back and he wipes the sweat from his brow. And he said, "Let me share with you what I'm doing. I'm building a magnificent monument to honor the people that have given their lives for this country. It'll stand this test of time and people will be able to come here and gather every Anzac Day." It's the same guy. It's the same guy doing the same job, but over a period of time, you start to work out what your purpose is. But you won't work it out by sitting in your lounge room watching TV. You won't work it out by waiting for the message to come to you. You have to start. You have to do something to move yourself forward. And so if you're really serious about finding your why, let me give you a few hints and tips on how to do that. The first thing you might want to think about is to really say, if you don't know what your big why is, then what's a smaller why? Is it to stop working full time? Is it to send your kids to a better school? Is it to be a better provider? Is it to be a leader in this business? Think a little bit about the little whys, because all the little whys make up the big whys. And this is about getting away from everything having to be perfect before you get started. And so think about, think for yourself is, what's my purpose this year? What do I want to achieve this year? And as you start to set and achieve those goals, you will get closer and closer to what the big why is for you. Adam, can I share my some slides?
You can, buddy. If you go down to the bottom there, you can see it says share screen.
Yep, beautiful. You can tell I'm such a professional here.
There you go.
Okay. Geez, modern technology, it's fantastic. I want to share this particular slide with you. I'm going to go. Can I go full screen? Will that work? Beautiful. Yeah. Here's what I've learned. So I go to lots of conferences, and I get a chance to talk to people after the conference, and I ask them this question. What do you want to achieve? And there are 6 emotional mindsets around achievement. Here's the first one. A lot of people say to me, "I don't know." And I go, "Okay, well, we can work with that. What do you think you've achieved in the past?" "I've got no idea." "Okay, well, we can work with that too. What do you want to achieve in the future?" And they go, "I still got no idea." And so my definition to people is that if you don't know where you've come from, if you don't know where you're at and you don't know where you're going, that's a good definition of lost. How many people in this call know people that are lost in their life, lost in their career, lost in their relationship? So I want to share with you these 6, and then I want to give you some solutions which will help you move closer to your why. Now, here's the second one. The second one is the frustrated. And what do I mean by the frustrated? These are people you say, "What do you want to achieve?" And they go, "I don't know." But you know what I do know? It's not this. It's not this relationship, or it's not this set of financial circumstances or level of health or connection I have with my kids or the career I'm in. It's not this. Great. What do you want then? I don't know. So here's my belief. If you don't know what you want, you deserve what you've got. The third is that people feel a little confused. When you say to them, when you approach somebody and you say to them, what do you want to achieve? And they go, oh, I want to achieve this. I want to have a nice car, live in a nice house, kids go to a great school. I want to be respected. I want to be appreciated. I want to be grateful. And you say, great. What's the challenge there? The challenge is I actually don't know how to get there. I haven't got a vehicle. Your business is a vehicle. Your business is a vehicle to help people achieve whatever they want to achieve, because it's this ability to give time and options and income. And so they're a little confused. And then you've got people, and these are the people who are a little bit unclear. And you might have some of these people, if you're a leader, you might have some of these people in your team. And you go to, what do you want to achieve? Oh, I want to sponsor this person over here. I want to show the business this person here. I want to build a business over here. And Adam and Kira will know this. What do those people tend to do? Nothing. They talk a good game, but don't actually implement. Understand this: activity cures inactivity. If it's not working for you, it's not the business. It's that you're not taking enough, that you're not doing enough, you're not doing the activity. And so these people tend to be unclear. And then you've got people who are the unsatisfied. And these are the people who look good, smell good. They're achieving heaps, live in a nice house, drive a nice car, go on nice holidays, kids go to a good school. So what's wrong with this picture? Well, there's nothing wrong with this picture. Unfortunately, these people have lost their energy for it. They're good at what they do. They're just not loving it anymore. They're fallen out of love with their life. They're successful, but they have to work so much harder every year to achieve the same result because they've lost their energy for it. They've lost their mojo. And then the last is, what I help people do is to create certainty. And what do I mean by certainty? These are the people who know what they want. They've got a clearly defined goal. They've got a plan in place. They're working towards it. They've got momentum behind them. They're realist as well. What I mean by that is that they know there'll be some dry gullies. They'll know that there'll be some challenges. They'll know there'll be some situations that everything will not be perfect. But they've got enough momentum to either go through the roadblock, go around it, go over it. And so I suppose, not that I can get too much feedback, but Adam and Kira will give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if I'm not on the right track here. But do those 6 make sense? Absolutely. And so if you're listening to me now, what I want you to pick is, where are you? Of those 6, where are you? Now, what I can tell you for a fact is that in your life, you can be 2 of them. In your day job, you might be one, and in your personal life, you might be another. If you circle 3 of them, we'll talk about decision making later. But if you circle all 6 of them, well, you probably need a bit of therapy. But that's another webinar. And so what I'd say to you is, wherever you are, it's okay. Because let me give you some strategies. If you feel like you're a bit lost at the moment, make a decision. Make a decision to be in Perth. Make a decision to build the business. Make a decision. The reason why most people don't make decisions is they're fearful. They're fearful of change. They're fearful of failure. They're fearful of success. What if I do this and I go really well? What will people think? And so, make a decision. And if it's not the right decision, make another decision. If that's not right, make another decision. What I see often with people is people make a decision and it wasn't the right decision, and they stop making decisions. So this is about making decisions as they go through. If you feel like you're a bit frustrated at the moment, that's okay. The word I want to give you here is opposite. You might come across some prospects and you say, what do you want to achieve in your life? And they go, I don't know. So here's a question you might want to think about. Is that, what don't you want? What don't you want? And so the ability to sometimes people cannot tell you what they want because they've had the dreams kicked out of them. They've had their life force kicked out of them. And so you know what you need to say? You need to say to them, what's the opposite of it? What don't you want to be doing? I don't want to be working 60 hours a week. I don't want to work for a dud boss. I don't want to. And so that's just about asking the right question. If you're a little confused at the moment, the word I want to give you here for confused, let me just move this over, is design a plan. And one of the things that most people, if you know what you want to achieve, then it's about stopping and saying, what's the plan or the strategy to get there? And you think, well, that's pretty obvious, Keith. Yeah, but you have to do it with a mentor. You have to do it with somebody that's going to act like a 4-year-old and ask you why. Okay, well, I want to build my Juice Plus business. Great. Why? And you might say, well, I don't know what my why is. No, you do. It's like you don't want to have to clock in every day. You don't want to have to turn up every day. And so sitting down with a mentor, somebody like Adam and Kira and your upline leaders, and to have that conversation, they will steer you in the right direction. If you're a little bit unclear, you've got a whole stack of opportunities, you can do a number of different things, then what I'd encourage you to do is follow your heart. They can never pay you enough money to do the stuff you hate. And so it's important to do, what's heartfelt, and do what you feel is most important, that matters, and they'll make a difference to you as part of that process. If you're sitting there and you're a bit unsatisfied at the moment, things are pretty good, but you're just not crashing through and pushing through to the next level. The word I want to give you here is a manifesto, which is a bigger reason why. And listen to these words really carefully. You want to have a reason that's bigger than you, outside of you, and lives on after you, a legacy. When I sit down with corporate leaders, CEOs who've lost their mojo and they can't tell their board it, that they've lost their energy for the business. They can't tell their people they've lost their energy, and they're falling out of love with their business. The thing I get them to sit down and do and say, just tell me a bigger reason. What's the legacy you want to leave for the people who are most important to you? And if you're sitting there and you're going, Keith, I actually know where I'm going. I'm pretty certain. The word I want to give you here is focus. And that's why I wrote the book that Kira held up before. What's the easiest thing to do? Set a goal. What's the hardest thing to do? Remain focused on it. There are so many distractions. How many people on this call suffer from next shiny object syndrome? And, we get distracted by the noise rather than having absolute focus. My father-in-law, Christine's dad, has a beautiful boat, about 36 foot. Love going out on it. I'm not a boatie, but here's my one thing I've learned about boating over the last 26 years of knowing him, is that if you're in a boat and you're 1 degree off course in a boat for 5 minutes, it's no big deal. You adjust the rudder, you adjust the sail, and you bring it back on course, back to your true north. If you're in a boat and you're 1 degree off course for 30 days, you are lost at sea. How many people do you know that are lost at sea in their life or in their career or in their business because they've got confused with the difference between the horizon and the destination? And what you need to have is you need to have a destination. And that destination could be a week from now. It could be a month from now. It could be Perth. It could be, where I'm going to go to Perth and I'm going to be at this level. I'm going to take this many people with me. I'm going to have this type of momentum behind me, and I'm going to be set up that Perth is a great platform to bounce to the next level. Do those 6 make sense? Adam, Kira, any questions? All good?
Oh, good.
All good. All righty. Let's keep on rocking and rolling if it's okay. So if you're going to find your personal why, I've just created this. Now, by the way, everything I'm going with you here tonight, you're thinking, oh, well, we're getting the presentation. You don't understand. Adam and Kira know me. I got close to 7 days of content. So what I'm doing with you tonight, you will not see in Perth. There will be I'm going to say not the same story. I may use the same quote or something like that. But what I'm showing you here tonight, I just created specifically for you guys, including these next 12 questions. And so if you want to help find your why in this business, let's start with chunks. And you might want to write these down. You don't have to, don't write down the what I've got on the screen. Write down the answer, and I do it at a nice pace. So I've worked with more than 3,500 small to medium-sized enterprises around the country through a program called Business Accelerator that I created, and I've run with NAB and Commonwealth Bank and organisations like that. And when I sit down with people, most people get into the business and they are not clear on what the big picture is. So I thought, if I could ask the right questions, what would that look like? And so here's what I'd like to share with you. I want you to write down, if you had the business of your dreams, if you had this lifestyle business of Juice Plus, how much money do you make a year? How much money do you keep? And I'm not saying, oh, is that 5 years from now, Keith? No. If I could wave a magic wand and give you everything you wanted, all you had to do is tell me, then what would that be? Here's the second question. What roles do you play in your life? I'm a full-time dad, a full-time mom. I'm a leader of people. I'm a presenter. I'm an educator. I'm a mentor. You know, what roles do you want to play? What are those 3 roles that are really vitally important for you that you play? Maybe it's part-time professional golfer. Who knows? Let me get my next little square up here in a tick. It'll come up here in a moment. I know it will. Sorry, I just clicked out of this presentation. Let me just click back into it again, Adam. So the next one that I want you to think a little bit about is the number of people that are in your team, in your business. How many people have you influenced? How many people have you touched and connected, and whether they're building the business with you or taking your wonderful product, the beautiful part about your business is you have the opportunity to influence people, and I reckon that's such a wonderful gift. How many hours do you work a week? How many hours do you work a week? The ability to be doing the things that are just really important to you. How many days off do you have a year? How cool is that to be able to say, I don't have to fill in a leave form. I don't have to ask for permission. I'm not tied to the mobile phone. Adam and Kira are just about to head off to the States, and that's because they've done the hard yards and they've done the uncomfortable and inconvenient. Tell me, what difference do you want to make to the people around you? What difference do you want to make? That impact. All of these questions are just helping you to find what it is that's important, that matters, that makes a difference to you, because that's part of your why. Let me give you the next set. What have you given back to others? Maybe it's in kind, maybe it's in cash, maybe it's in time. Maybe it's knowledge, maybe it's education. Maybe it's sponsoring kids in a foreign country. What have you given back to others because of the opportunity of this business? I'm just going to escape out of here again. Sorry, I'm not sure why it does that. Here's the next piece of the puzzle. How have you grown and changed? If I could wave a magic wand and get rid of whatever you don't like about yourself, whatever you want to let go of, whatever you want to release, allow, surrender to, how have you grown? Because, as you find your why, you have to change. It never ceases to amaze me that people want what others have but are not prepared to change and evolve to achieve that. And, when you have a big enough reason why, you will change and evolve, and you'll do the things that are really important. Sorry to flick between screens here, folks. Here's the next one. This is really important. How do you feel every day? How do you want to feel every day? I'm going to talk about this in Perth. I created a process called Goal Driver. And over the last 5 or 6 years, I've done a whole stack of research in what drives people to do the uncomfortable and inconvenient. And there are 8 core drivers. I don't want to go through them here tonight, but I will be sharing them in Perth. But you need to work out, how you want to feel every day. I want to feel happy. I want to feel inspired. I want to feel energized. I want to feel like I'm making a difference. I want to feel grateful. How do you want to feel every day? What legacy have you left for others? It's the planting the seeds that, planting trees that you'll never sit underneath. What legacy do you want to leave for the next generation? And more importantly, how long do you want to be remembered for as part of that? I think it's always interesting that for most people, we only remember back 2 to 3 generations. Wouldn't it be good if your, kids know about you because everybody spoke about you in such glowing and loving terms? What rewards have you received and been given because you've gone and built your Juice Plus business and because you've pursued your passion? What have you done there? And the last one there is what lifestyle have you created? What lifestyle have you created for yourself now? What are some of the some of the things that you do with your time, your energy, your options? And when we talk about rewards, I'm am I materialistic? I don't know if I'm materialistic, but geez, I like driving a nice car. I like going on nice holidays. I like sitting up the front of the plane. I like I like that I can provide for my family. That's a real driver for me. So those questions are really important, and I'd almost encourage Adam and Kira the next time that they talk to you that you start sharing some of these things, because the more you talk about it, the more you get committed. The more you talk about it, the more you get connected. The more you talk about it, the more you become compelled. So important to do that. I love this quote, and the reason why I love this quote is I thought of it. In all modesty, nothing great happens until someone becomes passionate about something. You have to become passionate about something in your life. And I've written 3 books just on the topic of passion, one on the topic of focus, and one on customer loyalty. I don't know what I was thinking about when I wrote that, but what I do know is passion fits into a couple of different categories. What I do know is your life is made up of 4 parts. There are things in your life that you love to do. There are things in your life that you like to do. There are things in your life that you have to do. And there's things in your life that you hate to do. If I can give you a highly technical term here, is that if your life is consumed by the things you have to do and hate to do, highly technical term, your life's crappy. But if you've got things in your life that you like to do and you love to do, your life's a joy, your life's a gift. And I'm a realist when it comes to this. I know that you can't always have the things in your life that you love to do and like to do. There's some dry gullies you have to go through from time to time. But what I do know is that you'll have the energy and the enthusiasm and the engagement and the empowerment to be able to go through those tough times when you know there's something on the other side that you love to do and like to do. And which brings me to the point that your passion fits into 2 categories. There are things in your life that you love to do and you earn an income from it. For some of you absolutely love Juice Plus, and the beauty is that you have the ability to earn an income from it. And for other people, you go and earn an income so you can go and do the things you love to do. And so often when you find people and they say, I'm not sure if I love it, it's okay. I mean, you don't have to love it. It's a vehicle. It's a vehicle for you to go and do the things, send your kids to a decent school. I've had 2 conversations that I've had. Wow, what have I had today? I've had close to 8 tele appointments today myself. And I've had 2 of those tele appointments was with people that the organisations is going through major restructure and they're not sure if they got a job. And yet they're fabulous, fabulous people, but they're a number. In the factory, the machine, they're a number. And that's the beauty of you. That's the difference with your business, that it's more than just a number. So the question to help you get a little closer to your purpose, to that why, is what are you passionate about? I have a number of passions. I'm passionate about my wife. I've been married to Christine for 26 years this year. I have two, as Adam and Kira mentioned before, I have two beautiful daughters. Eldest is 21 this year in December. Youngest is 18. I'm really passionate about being a great provider for them, and more importantly, being the living example. I'm not always perfect at that, but I just know that I have to be the living example for them, not the talking example. And if you've got kids, you'll get the meaning behind that. I'm passionate about the work I do. If you probably don't get the sense of it from the screen, but what I'm doing tonight, what I do 100 times a year, is not a job. It's not a career. It's a crusade. I'm on this mission to help people set goals, because if you can set and achieve goals, the more important goal achievement, if you can set, nothing but good can happen to you. I'm also passionate about travel, probably like most of the people on this call. I'm very passionate about travel. I love getting on a plane and going places. And I'm passionate about photography. About 8 years ago, I fell in love with photography, and I would be what you would call a pro-am photographer, which means I have all the gear but basically no idea. But it's something that I can do, which helps me become, in inverted commas, an artist. I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't paint, but at least I can sometimes take a decent photo. So one of your post-presentation projects is to write down the things that make your heart sing. Write down things that energize, enthuse, and engage you as part of that process. And take the time to say, what are the things that you're passionate about? Because when you go and pursue your passion, it re-energizes you so you can do the things that are uncomfortable and inconvenient. So it leads me now to what you really want to achieve in your business. What is really important to you? There are 4 key areas. I'm actually not going to cover this in Perth. I'm just going to jump from the big picture to the micro. So I thought I'd share with you, there are 4 areas that you need to set your goals in. Professionally, your Juice Plus business. What's your goal in your business as a leader in regards to product knowledge or people knowledge? You'll get as you build your business that it's more about understanding people than necessarily the product. You have to know the product, obviously, and to be the living example of the product. But you have to start to understand people. What's the number one goal you want to achieve professionally in your Juice Plus business in the next 12 months? What is it you want to achieve? What do you want to achieve personally? The things you want to do for your family, the things you want to do for fun, things you want to do as a sense of adventure. And your idea of adventure could be hang gliding or parachuting. Your idea of adventure might be sitting on a white sandy beach thinking, will I have a pina colada or a margarita this afternoon? And you say, you know what, I'm going to live dangerously, adventurously, bring them both over in a bucket. The third area is physical. It's about your health, your fitness, and your strength. And I'm not talking about strength of I'm talking about strength of body, but I'm also talking about strength of mind, about character, and about what you do to become resilient. And, when people say no, no way to you when you offer them this opportunity, it's like, how do you bounce back from that and understand that, once again, that's part of being the difficult and the inconvenient. And the final is about the money side of things. It's about being profitable. What are your goals? How much do you want to invest in your business? How much do you want to, invest in yourself? What are the purchases you want to make? Your savings goals? Maybe it's to pay off the credit card. Maybe it's to pay 10% off your home loan this year above and beyond your payments. Your normally monthly payments. What are those key goals that you want to achieve moving forward in the next 12 months? Now, I'm going to, in Perth, I'm going to actually show you how to make the difference between goal setting and goal achievement. I've created a 9-part goal driver formula. It is exceptionally powerful. Nobody, I mean absolutely nobody, teaches goals the way I teach goals. And I don't say that arrogantly. I've been a student of the goal setting process for the last 30 years, and I've cracked the code. I've found the missing link. I'm going to share that in Perth because I just know it'll accelerate you towards what you really want to achieve. Here's what I do know. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. So it's really important that you have clarity around your goals. I love that quote. And it says, if you don't have a goal, you'll be part of somebody else's goal. And so it's really, and that could be your boss's goal. It could be your company's goal. But you need to have the goal. You need to drive your life. You need to be, you need to be in control of your own destiny and to be able to take that initiative to move forward. So, how are we going for time, Adam? You want to open it up to some questions? I mean, I could talk all night. I think people are, I'm going to have a little bit of water.
You're doing a great job, buddy, and the guys are loving it from all the comments, and I'm not sure if you can see the comments. Guys, if you have got questions that are relative to the content that Keith is sharing, then please don't hesitate to pop it up in the chat, and we can ask the question doing that. So please go ahead and do that. Did you want to share your screen anymore, Keith, or you just...
No, I'm okay. I mean, I can. I've still got... I mean, I always over-prepare, so I've got plenty of content. But I just thought it was an opportunity to ask answer some questions and stuff like that, buddy.
Yeah, it's awesome. Has anyone got some questions around passion, like pursuing your passion, that sort of stuff? Which I know Keith has done a great job. One of the questions, someone asked Keith, just the book on focus that we shared at the start. How could someone get their hands on any of your books that you've put together?
If you go to keithabraham.com, KeithAbraham.com, just click on the product. I've got a number of different books. There's a book there called B. There's a book called Focus. There's a book called Living Your Passion. We have the Living Your we have, my apologies, we have the It Starts With Passion book, but the B book and the Focus book, we have both as audio books as well. And they come with a little manual. So you can upload them to your computer, and then you've got the manual to do the activities in them. So they're pretty interactive, those two books. Just visit the website, Adam. Or, come to Perth. I'll have some books there that people can take away with them.
And I know you play down your customer book, your first book, because I knew when you'd just written that book. But honestly, guys, in my traditional business and what I learned from that book is like there are so many great little gold nuggets of just great customer care initiatives that we could be doing in our business. So I know, is that on your website, Keith?
Yeah, look, Adam, people can download a little sample chapter of that. That book is out of print. In actual fact, I'm going to take that along as electronic book. Awesome. That people can have as a part of a little kit that I'll put together especially for Juice Plus.
It's amazing. So, I know you like that book's amazing. Let alone like Kira was just flicking through your Focus, and I'm telling you guys, like when I get anything for Keith selling books, I love his books. Like they're like workbooks. Keith is just the down to earth. Like let's not just talk. Let's do some shit. Like let's implement some shit. He's the man of implementation. He used to kick my butt all the time about implementation, which he knows that I am not always the best implementer. I'm a bit of a visionary, but just getting that implementation. And I love that he's all about getting stuff done, mate. If you would like to, if you can just click stop share screen so we can see good looking mug instead.
Okay, wonderful. Where am I going to do
right
that?
At the top, it should have. I think it's right at the top. I can't
see. Resume share. No, stop share. There we go.
There you go.
Hey, modern technology. How cool.
Gotta love it. I'm going to see if I can find some questions. I think Sally asked, what are your best tools to support someone to really finding their passion, or should we advise them to read your book or guide them somewhere else?
Yeah, look, so here is something that people can download. I've got a whole stack of free resources, and in actual fact, Adam, one of the things that people might want to jump to and have a little bit of a jump start on everybody else in Perth is if you go to my website, there's some free resources there, but let me give you a little blind website that I only give to people that I present to, and it's called Keith's with an S, resources.com. And if you go to keithsresources.com, that's KEITHS resources.com, it'll ask you for an email address and your name. But what I'll send to you is I will send you a 60-minute audio recording of the goal setting process. I'll also send you an ebook on how to actually pursue your passion. I'll also send you, you'll get my blog once a week, and that's purely around inspiration, goals, and focus. And you will get a couple of resource sheets as well. So there's some good resources there to help you, get started, in the month. It's probably about a month or so, or a little bit 6 weeks, I suppose, till Perth. So there's that. For those people that are struggling a little bit to find their passion, I would recommend It Starts With Passion book. It's a great book. And the reason why it's called It Starts With Passion is that I help people find their passion. And there's 12 questions I get people to ask. 10 questions I get people to ask to do that. So, yeah. So that'd be the easiest way. Yeah, there you go. Gooey. It's, once again, good book. Not as funky and, graphically designed and everything like that as the other ones, but it's got, some of my best work in there.
It's awesome. And I just, I think and I want to just go back to quickly remind you guys, because it's, Keith's got so many resources and so many books. But if you go back to the call tonight, one thing that Keith talked about is finding your passion sometimes is just getting yourself in the game, and your why and your vision will grow over time. It's really important to do that. So, if someone had to ask me, what our vision, what our why was in this journey, that evolves over time. I think it's that initial why, and it builds and it compounds. And, Keith said it before, what's your outcome for today? What's your outcome for the week? What's your outcome for the month and year? Just breaking that down and making sure that you're still doing stuff that's propelling yourself forward. Stop looking under rocks sometimes, is kind of what Keith shared it with. That analogy is sometimes just doing the work, the right rock will turn up at the right time, and you'll discover a new layer of why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, and I just can't stretch enough to people. So I mentor a number of speakers, and people come to me and go, it's not working, Just show me your diary. Just show me how many calls you made, how many emails, how many LinkedIn invitations. Activity cures inactivity. If it's not working for you, you're not taking activity. You're not taking the action. You might be thinking you're taking action. You're thinking about it all the time. But you have to. At the end of the day, you got to go and talk to people. You got to connect, communicate. With people. That's activity cures inactivity.
Yeah, and Keith, would you agree that probably some of the best ways to help someone else find their passion is commit to the process themselves?
Absolutely. You got to be the living example.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you have to be the living example for other people. You can't expect people to do what you're not doing. Mm. There's a lovely quote, what runs the leader walks in the team. Mm. And so you have to blaze a pathway. John Maxwell's got that lovely quote, he or she who thinketh they're a leader and has no one following them is just out taking a walk. You have to be the living example. People only follow people that are doing it. And so and by the way, don't get doing confused with success, because what I do know is, I'm doing it, but I'm not getting the result. That's okay. It's time. It's a time and motion process. You just have to go and do it. And if you're seeing people, you're not getting results, go back to your leader, ask them, because often what it is, the difference between someone who's really successful like Adam and Kira and someone who's not successful is A, following the process, B, being tenacious. Tenacity wins every race. Every race is won through tenacity. And the C part of it is that they just believe and keep on going through the motions and not measuring, oh, this isn't working. No. Just people will come. It will happen. It'll pop.
Yeah, and I just want to let you go, guys, I have never, ever shared anything about the 3 elements to success, about what we talk about in team training all the time. And Keith has kind of pretty much said exactly that. So, guys got to listen about, think about, it's the tenacity, it's the will to keep pushing when others give up. It is doing the work. It's about having that vision. And, Keith said it. He doesn't matter what industry. It's not about recreating the wheel, guys. It's about finding a system that works and following it and being teachable. So, Keith has worked with some amazing businesses all around the world, and he understands the importance of just being teachable and following.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm good. I'm sitting here taking loads of notes.
Look, mate, I am super pumped about you being in Perth. It's going to be good to catch up. I'm not sure if there's a cricket or football game that we'll be able to get to.
That'd be cool to do that.
Keith and I often used to catch day one of the first Gabba test together, like cricket geeks.
Yeah,
we are. And but I'm just going to put it out there. You never know, guys. We've got a team incentive, and I think Keith's going to be around for a couple of days, so we might even steal him to be a part of our team incentive.
Yeah, love to.
Doing so, love to get along to that. One thing that came up for me, Keith, again, that, just the impact that you've had on my life is just crazy. And I heard you do this on the NMD. I heard you speak on the NMD call earlier this year or late last year. And I was like, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm listening to myself speak. Like, who influenced me to speak the way I do? Like, I think you just really have. And one of the things that you got me to do many, many years ago at one of your workshops is you got us to write the perfect day.
Yeah.
To write your perfect day. And, I want to be honest with you. This business has given me the vehicle. I actually live those days these days. I remember I used to say that I want to roll over. I didn't know Kira at that stage. I want to be able to roll over to the girl of my dreams. I want to be able to ask her, what do we do today? Do a little bit of work, go play some golf, hang out for lunch. Like, that was my perfect day. And to think that, just manifesting that, the tools that you've given me personally, to be able to manifest that and create that in your life, you've been such an impact. And I'm so looking forward to you being able to, give that to this community also. It's pretty awesome.
And I just want to say, Keith, the reason why I got so teary at the beginning, and I really get now, is that yourself and Christine were there through the hardest times in our life.
Yeah, I know. It's beautiful.
And you're always such a ray of light for us. And it's just amazing to come full circle and you made such an impact on our life.
Thanks, Kira. I appreciate that. You guys are absolutely fantastic. We know that, and Christine and I, saw the beauty of both of you together, and wow, and you know what? Isn't that the beautiful part about it? There are some dark days sometimes, and this is for everybody. There's some dark days sometimes, but there's light on the other side of it. Where there is night, there is daylight. And so that's the beautiful part about this business, and you're changing people's lives. That's the cool part about it. So we're really excited about being in Perth. We're just can't wait to share and rock the house and hang out with you guys and work with some of your people as well, which would be really cool. We're getting close to time and everything like that. I got a couple of final comments. So I work with lots of people, and I mentor some people, and probably Kira and Adam, you guys know this better than anybody else. I love the quote. A good plan today is better than a perfect plan tomorrow. Um, everybody's goal should be to get started, and you know, to get that, you know, how does the quote go? A good plan started today is better than a perfect plan started tomorrow. Your goal is not to get it right. Your goal is to get it going. Then you can get it right. You know, do not wait for things to be perfect. Do not wait for everything to be right. Do not wait for the perfect why. Do not wait for the big picture. Do not wait for a disaster in your life before you go, oh, now I'm determined to get started. No, just get started and then change it and evolve it and make it better as you go through. I often say to people is that I honestly believe majority of people tell the truth. But there's a big difference between telling the truth and being the truth. And Adam and Kira are living examples of being the truth. You know, they've taken the time to go and do the uncomfortable and the inconvenient. And, you know, I love what Sir Edmund Hillary, he was asked by a good mate of mine, what was it like when you got to base camp? And to my mate's surprise, he said, when I got to base camp and I looked up at Everest, he said, I thought it was too high. I thought it was too hard. I thought it was too bloody cold. And my mate said, what'd you do? He said, simple. I just put one foot after the other. And if you want to be successful in this business, just follow your leaders and take the first step and the next step and the next step, and you will create momentum. And with momentum, you can do anything. The roadblocks, the challenges, whatever's going on in your life, if you got momentum behind you, you will smash it. And it's been just an absolute delight being on the call with you and sharing a couple of thoughts with you.
It's awesome. Buddy, I got nothing else. It's just such a fitting way to finish tonight. Having my wife crying, you crying, and then sharing that piece.
Come on.
So I'm just going to let everyone give you the big freestyle love that you deserve. So you guys know what to do. Give Keith some love, and we can't wait to see you in Perth, buddy.
Thank you, Keith.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was
Thank you so much.
Happy birthday, Adam. What a man. Thank you.
Thanks, mate. Good to hear from you.
Thank you. Amazing. My husband loves you, Keith.
Oh, you're too kind.
Thanks, Keith. Love you guys.